pretty funny story here, which is funny now. It is what was not funny then. The first hotel we were doing a pilot with in July was the Marriott. So Marriott has one of their prime hotels in Sunnyvale, right? So they were pretty close to the Intel office. I talked to them as the first hotel we would go live with. And we had built out a relationship with them. They were going to showcase that at their bar, in bedrooms, and gyms, and the lobby, in a few places, right? So we had the hardware. We had this company build out the chargers, and we'd already realized by now, because the technology was early enough, that laptops required a lot more space, right, to build the technology. Phones had a smaller space, so we were going to go to market with enabling this for phones. And we get the whole setup. So we had to get installations. So, there had to be electrical installations, because if you think about a bar table, right? If you think about at a Marriott, the bar table, you had to have the installer installed. We had electricity. So, we had the system integrator install electricity and these chargers and everything. And there's a big, marketing push, and we're going to go live next week. And what we'd also done is, myself and my team, we had installed these chargers on our tables because we were piloting them internally before we went out. And one of the people on my team calls me and said, "Hey, I had a credit card I left on the charger by mistake, and it burnt a little bit. So when these chargers get too warm,
Oh.
it can burn somebody's phone or something that's on the charger," right? And think about this. Yeah, we're going live tomorrow, next week with Marriott. We've done marketing, and
And real estate is where all their money's invested. So
yep.
fire and real estate don't love each other, those two things.
So here I am, so this is my account manager, because she's responsible for the Marriott partnership. She's like, what should we do? Should we, and again, it doesn't happen with everyone, it happens in 1 in 10 or whatever it is, should we be open about it, and should we pull things back for now, or should we just go ahead with it, right? So important thing, I had to really think about it. I sat down with a couple people and had a really deep conversation about this. And it was painful. Honestly, it was pretty gut wrenching at that time. But and the gal who was, I had a gal at that time, Ciricia, she was fantastic. She was on that account. So there were two things. One, should we be honest with the partner, right? And the answer was yes. We need to be honest with them. We need to tell them what the solution, what is happening right now, right? And the next thing was empowering Ciricia to actually have the conversation versus me taking it over and saying, I'm going to talk to the partner about it, right? Because we had to talk to their whole leadership team and other people, right? So, and it's like, okay, well, I'll be on the call with you, but you can do this, we'll prep for it, we'll have this conversation, and we'll also come back with what is our mitigation, right? What are we doing to mitigate this, right? Because you don't want to just go and say, hey, the chargers are burning 1 in 10, and we're going to pull this out, but really thinking about, okay, what is it that we can do? What are we doing to solve it? And honestly, Zach, in that particular case, I didn't have a timeline to give them. It's like, this is not working right now. Can we have it for you in 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks? I don't know. And that's when I learned that, you ask for people for a time, meaning I will get back to you in 2 weeks, and we will let you know then as to, what the timeline should be, right? And this was, it seemed at that time like a pretty big move, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody else was going to be able to make that decision for me. I was responsible for this, and really helps you understand what accountability is. And yeah, and Sarissa did a good job, and honestly, that turned out well. And while it was painful at that time, I think what it does do is build that trust and respect, right? Because then the partner knows that you're not pulling, wool over their eyes. They trust you, and after a few weeks we were able to just build over that, slowly we were able to build that. And they knew it was new technology, right? They knew that they wanted to unveil something that was new, but nobody understands unless you're a technology company how new that is, right? Because um, so it took a while. It took a while to rebuild that relationship and get things back where they felt confident and we felt confident to rectify that. But anyway, so that's kind of when you're going out with disruptive new solutions, when you're working for a big company, yes, you get a paycheck. So that is a good thing. You know that at least, especially if you're producing results, right? And that's the other thing, right? Because with all the disruption that you've got with technology, technology companies really expect you to meet goals, right? If you're not meeting goals, then there is no security there, and that's kind of the way it is. You've got to, but you get a paycheck. But again, if you're doing something that is this disruptive, to be able to meet those goals, you have to be able to think fast. You have to be able to take chances. You have to be honest and open, and you just have to, trust things and keep moving forward.